$1,800 for a premium iron set. The heads inside cost the manufacturer $35 to $55. I ranked 8 U.S. marketed golf brands from worst to best on one test. Who actually builds clubs on American soil and who is wrapping offshore castings in a flag? Only 2 passed. The rest traced to Korean private equity, Chinese-linked ownership, and factories you have never seen, starting at the bottom. Number 8. TaylorMade. The brand's red, white, and blue marketing leads the field in offshore sourcing. Since 2007, the bulk of TaylorMade's club heads have been forged and cast in China and Vietnam, not California. That shift followed a public announcement and a surge in import records, from under 5,000 driver heads in 2006 to more than 120,000 in 2008, all arriving from Asia. Today, the sticker on a TaylorMade driver reads, "Assembled in USA," but the head, shaft, and grip are all foreign-made. Only custom orders see final assembly in Carlsbad, while most retail clubs never touch U.S. soil until shipping. Ownership sits entirely with Centroid Investment Partners, a South Korean private equity firm, since a $1.7 billion buyout in 2021. On the price tag, a driver retails for $600 to $700, while the OEM head costs just $35 to $50. The gap between branding and reality is wide and expensive. Number 7. Wilson Staff. The Wilson name still conjures images of Chicago's golden age, yet today's reality is a web of foreign control and offshore assembly. Acushnet Holdings, the parent company, is majority owned by Magnus Holdings, a subsidiary of Fila Korea, holding just over 50% of Acushnet's shares. That ownership structure puts Wilson Staff under Korean corporate oversight, far from its American roots. Club heads are forged in China, with shafts arriving from Japan or Korea and grips molded in Thailand. The real assembly work happens mostly in Taiwan, where plants like Ming Hao Logistics handle the final steps before clubs are shipped stateside. Only a handful of premium lines see any USA assembly, and even then the hosel sticker reads, "Assembled in USA, not made." For a set of staff model irons, retailing around $1,200, the OEM head cost lands between $20 and $30. The sticker tells the story. American branding, but the substance is global, and the American-made promise is mostly marketing. Number 6. Cleveland Golf. The Cleveland badge carries the weight of Japanese forging, but the reality is full foreign ownership and selective U.S. finishing. Since 2007, Sumitomo Rubber Industries has held 100% control, steering both Cleveland and its sister brand Srixon from Osaka. Club heads are predominantly forged in Japan, with some production in Taiwan, then shipped as components. The final assembly for a portion of the line takes place at the Huntington Beach, California facility, where the hosel sticker reads, "Assembled in USA." That is a legal distinction that covers only the last step, not the origin of the head, shaft, or grip. The wedge lineup, especially the RTX Zip Core, exposes the markup with a retail price of $169 to $199 per wedge, while the OEM head cost sits between $22 and $30. There is prestige in forging, but the American-made image is mostly a sticker, not a process. Number 5. Cobra Golf. Behind the American branding sits a tangle of foreign ownership and offshore manufacturing. In 2026, ANTA Sports, a Chinese sportswear giant, bought a 29% stake in PUMA, making ANTA the largest single shareholder and giving it indirect control over Cobra. The production story matches the ownership. Cobra club heads are cast and assembled in China, with only a thin slice of custom orders seeing final assembly in Carlsbad, California. For most buyers, the only United States involvement comes at the very end, and even then the hosel sticker reads, "Assembled in USA, never made." The price spread is hard to ignore. The King driver retails for $549, while the original equipment manufacturer head cost hovers between $30 and $45. That is a markup that leaves little room for illusions about where the real value lands. The sticker tells the truth. complex investor ties, minimal United States build, and a premium price for an imported product. Number 4. Callaway Golf. The company's public image is pure California, but the reality is a global supply chain with shifting priorities. In November 2025, Callaway sold off 60% of its Topgolf and Toptracer businesses to Leonard Green and Partners, pocketing over $1 billion and reverting to the Callaway Golf Company name in January 2026. The ticker changed from MODG to CALY, marking a renewed focus on clubs. Yet the sourcing story remains mostly offshore. Driver heads are forged in China and Taiwan, with shafts sourced from Japan or Korea and grips from Thailand. Callaway's own SEC filings and import records confirm that only about 40% of club assembly happens in North America, mostly at the Carlsbad facility. The sticker tells the story. Assembled in USA appears only on the premium Apex line, while the majority of models skip any US origin claim. For the 2026 Paradigm driver, the retail price lands at $599, but the head itself runs just $32 to $48 at the OEM level. The gap between price and production is wide, and the hosel sticker is the only real evidence of where the work is done. Number 3. Titleist. The split in Titleist's manufacturing is stark. Every Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf ball is produced start to finish at Plant 3 in New Bedford, Massachusetts, with SEC filings and Acushnet's annual report confirming full domestic extrusion and molding. But the club story is different. Titleist branded irons and drivers are overwhelmingly built from foreign-made heads, with only a fraction of final assembly happening at the Carlsbad, California facility. Acushnet's own 10K states about 68% of Titleist clubs are assembled in Carlsbad, but the heads, shafts, and grips come from Asia, primarily China for heads, Japan or Korea for shafts, and Thailand for grips. The hosel sticker on most Titleist clubs reads "Assembled in USA, not made." For a T100 iron set, the retail price lands around $1,500, while the head alone costs just $25 to $35 to produce overseas. Titleist's transparency on ball origins stands out, but the club division still leans on offshore sourcing and careful labeling. Number 2. PXG. The Parsons Extreme Golf operation runs on a founder-owned model, free from private equity or foreign conglomerates. Bob Parsons, still in control, has steered PXG toward transparency, even as the brand sits at the very top of the price ladder. Club heads are forged in Japan at Chuo-grade foundries, a detail PXG discloses openly, while grips come from California, and every club is hand-assembled at the Scottsdale, Arizona facility. The company claims a 0.8% failure rate, though that number is drawn from forum anecdotes rather than audited records. PXG's patent portfolio is unmatched, with 1,029 U.S. patents as of late 2025, according to the Justia registry. The 0311 Gen 6 iron set retails for $2,500 to $3,500, a premium that's explained up front rather than hidden behind vague marketing. The hosel sticker typically reads "Assembled in USA," and PXG makes no attempt to hide the Japanese origin of its heads. The trade-off here is clear. Full transparency comes at a cost, but the boutique approach leaves little room for deception. And finally, in first place, Ping stands alone with full domestic casting and assembly. The Solheim family has kept the company private and entirely US-owned, resisting every push to offshore since the 1970s. Every Ping clubhead is cast on site at Dolphin Inc., their in-house foundry on a 50-acre Phoenix campus. Shafts for premium models are sourced primarily from US suppliers, and grips are molded in Arizona. Unlike others, the hosel sticker on a Ping reads "Assembled in USA" and actually means it. The head, shaft, and grip are all produced domestically, then finished on the same campus. Warranty records show a 0.6% failure rate, one of the lowest in the industry. The G430 driver retails for $599, with the US head alone costing $55 to $70 to cast and finish. Ping's lifetime warranty and pro shop channel reinforce its reliability. When it comes to transparency and true American manufacturing, Ping delivers what the sticker claims. Subscribe for more forensic gear breakdowns. Across all 8 brands, one fact stands out. Patriotic branding rarely matches manufacturing reality. Most clubs sold as American are cast, milled, or owned offshore, often at a fraction of retail price. For US golfers, the hosel sticker tells the truth. Subscribe for more forensic breakdowns.